We are Arsenal.
Wembley bound.
We love Arsenal.
Oh yes.
We are Arsenal.
No mercy.
We're Arsenal. Forever. We are Arsenal.
Road to Wembley.
We love Arsenal.
Hello and welcome to FTB Sports. This is the Arsenal preview show where we're going to be taking a look at the game tomorrow night at the Emirates where Arsenal host Olympiacos, who also lead 3-1 from the first leg. I'm Mr. Silver Fox, AFC. You can call me Tony. And I'm joined with by Vegan Gooner, Azzy Gooner, and Brezzy Page. How are we doing, fellas?
Right, mate.
All good, mate. All good.
Still buzzing after the weekend, yeah?
Blinding, eh?
Yeah.
Any quick word on that before we go on to the game tomorrow, or should we just go straight in?
No, just definitely a penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Jermaine Jenas, eh?
Yeah, he's still crying, isn't he?
Yeah.
He caught the Gooners out, yeah. Right, I want to start with the lineups, and then we can go into depth on what we think is going to happen tomorrow. So, if we look at last week's, how much of a change are we seeing going into tomorrow's game? We'll start with you, Vegan Gooner.
Mate, I tell you what, I ain't going to lie, my apple pies aren't the greatest, and I can't really see this.
Oh, if I'll just read them out for you. So you've got
Go
Leno,
on.
Bellerin, Luis, Gabriel, Tierney, Willian, Thomas, Xhaka, Odegaard, Aubameyang, and Saka.
Yes, I mean, by the looks of that, he's going to play quite attacking, isn't he? I actually thought he'd rest a couple of players, but...
Well, this was the so this was the from last week. I was asking what changes can you see coming in going into this game.
Oh, I definitely think Saka needs a rest. I mean, the last couple of games... For me this season, he has been literally a breath of fresh air. I cannot believe a player so young has come into a team. He basically, for me, he's been our best player this season. But in the last couple of games, he's looking tired. He is looking tired. And I think we need to give him a bit of a rest now. I know he came off at half-time against Spurs. Was he injured or what was that about? Because I weren't sure.
He picked up a knock or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I definitely think they should rest him for that game. I mean, we'd have to really, really shoot ourselves in the foot to lose that now. So I know we're Arsenal and anything's possible, but I'd definitely rest him. And I'd like to see Martinelli get a game. I mean, I don't know what the boy's got to do to get a start. That's what I think, anyway.
Brizzy?
Yeah. So my lineup's going to be a little bit different. Rested some players, obviously, as we're 3-1 up. So I've got Bellerin, Leno, Bellerin, Gabriel, Mari, Tierney, Ceballos, Partey, Pepe, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, and Aubameyang.
Yep, Azzy?
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, this is a perfect game for Martinelli to come back in now. Just like Sav said, you know what I mean? Like, to be honest, this is the perfect game. I think Saka definitely needs a rest. I would probably say even Xhaka, because the amount of consistent games he's played.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, he's been a bit up and down, but to be honest with you, I think Ceballos needs to start this game because I think last week when he came on, it kind of changed the game slightly. You know, there was a lot more forward movement, so I would probably start him as well. I mean, Tierney is a bit of a weird one because I would want to see him start, but at the same time, I'm thinking, does he really need to be in this game? I don't see Olympiacos coming into the Emirates and scoring 3 goals. Say even if we lost that game 2-1, we still go through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't really have a left back. I mean, but I'm sure we could put Cedric in there. He's played well in that part. You know, we can put Cedric, we can put Bellerin on the other side. But I think Tierney would be one that you'd want to rest up because, I mean, I just like his game management. To be honest with you, for someone who's been in and out of the squad due to injury, you still see there a lot of heart that the guy shows, and I personally would like wrap him up in cotton wool. To be honest with you, Aubameyang, I mean, you probably know he's going to start because obviously he didn't play on Saturday, but yeah, Martinelli should definitely come back into the squad, and I'll start Pepe as well this time. Do you know what I mean? I will have to want to start Pepe, but that's just me, But yeah, I think we would definitely have a attacking lineup going in, but I don't see us conceding 3 goals. And I put Mari in as well. I would actually rest Gabriel for this game.
Yeah, I'd probably rest both Luis and Gabriel, to be honest, and put Holding back in because he ain't played since he had that concussion against Man City, so he can do a bit of game time and then bring Mari in as well for Gabriel. On Tierney, I think, he's our only left back, so we do really need to rest him, and I don't think we're missing too much tomorrow. I mean, Olympiacos should be open tomorrow, so if we get that early goal, it's game over, job done, really. So, yeah, I mean, how do you think the game overall is going to, pan out, Vegan Guna?
To be honest, I think that they might even think they've lost this game already. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw their strongest team turn up. I mean, they're 3-1 down. Did I really honestly? Like I said, you can never say anything because I've seen them turn us over before at the Emirates. But we're a different opposition now. You know what I mean? And like what you said about resting these key players, there's no issue with just leaving them on the bench. And if things start going Pete Tong, then bring them on. But then we've got that option. But I would definitely, what you just said about Tierney, he needs a rest as well. Definitely needs a rest. I mean, what about, do you not think Chambers could sit in there for this game, just to give Tierney a rest? Because like you said, if he does get injured, we are really in trouble.
I think the problem we have there is out of all of our fullbacks, Cedric can probably do a job on that side. You can't see Bellerin doing anything there. So you'd have to probably, if you're going to play Chambers, you put Cedric on the other side. Otherwise, there's Saka, but you don't want to play Saka. So it's an interesting one. I don't know what he's going to do over there because Tierney has to be rested.
But then
for this game. Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, it's that kind of situation where you can't really win, can you? Because we can put out a weaker side, and then within half an hour we're 2-0 down, and we're all going, "Oh bollocks, what's going on here? Why has he rested all these players?" And then we're slating the manager for doing it. But then it could go the other way around where he plays them, we win 2-0, but then we pick up two or three key injuries, and we're saying, "Well, why has he not rested players?" Do you know what I mean? It's a difficult one.
I mean, I would probably say, for this game like this, will you not just play 3 at the back and just have Cedric as a wing, as a winger? So we can have, say, someone like, we can have, say, Mari Holding in the middle and Chambers at the back. We can then put, Cedric on one side, and then we can have Martinelli on the other side, and we can play Aubameyang through the middle, and and we can pack the midfield. If we can pack the midfield, we can then have the players like Ceballos, give maybe Partey half an hour, maybe give him about an hour, and see how the game pans out, and then. We could put Willian up at number 10, or we could have Pepe up there as well. So we've got options. But what I would do, personally, I would just put 3 in the back. Do you know what I mean? And then because the thing is, Olympiacos are going to come, and they're going to come out firing. They're going to want to come out attacking in this game because that's the only way they're going to try to get through. And to be honest with you, I think we can pick them off because we'll have a lot more pace, and obviously we'll have a lot more power going forward. Now, obviously, as every week we say, we're the only ones that can shoot ourselves in the foot. Do you know what I mean? It can only be a mistake that can lead to a goal, and that can be from us. So, I'll probably play 3 at the back, and I will just let the wingers do the job in this game because I think watching the game last week, it just seems like they don't have a lot of power going forward from their wing. So we can attack their wing, and this is where I will rest Tierney, to be honest with you, and I'll play Cedric, and I will play I'll play Chambers. Chambers is actually a good shout because I can't really think of anybody else. I'm not really a big fan of Bellerin.
I think he'll start El Nani as well in this game.
I think so. Yeah.
And
but there you go. That's your 3 in the middle, isn't it? Really, Ceballos, Partey, El Nani.
El Nani, I love El Nani. I know he's not everyone's favourite player, but he gives me. As an Arsenal fan, the first thing I look for, before I look for anything, talent or anything. It's give me 100% and die for the shirt. And he might not be the giftedest player, but when he goes out there, he's proud to wear that Arsenal shirt. And for me, that makes a massive difference. So when I see him, I'm glad that he's on. I'm glad when he plays. And when he scored the other night, I was so happy for the boy.
And you can see the players are really happy with him as well. You can tell how much they love him.
He's obviously a really nice
celebration, isn't it? You just see the passion in his celebration. I mean, he's only scored 4 goals since he's been at Arsenal, but I mean, tell me one of those goals that was a bad goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can't really expect a player of his caliber to be, banging in 10, 15 goals a season, because with the position he plays, the minutes he gets. One thing that I have to agree, the passion, there's no ifs and buts with this guy. You know what I mean? Whether you play him 20 minutes, whether you play him 5 minutes, or you play him an hour, he would give you 100%. He will never moan. He'll never cry about nothing. Do you know why? Because as humble footballers, he knows the club he plays for. Do you know what I mean? And if he starts bringing all that bad vibe into it, he knows. I mean, where is he going to go back? End up at Basel again?
And I bet you something else, mate. I bet you didn't turn out half an hour late.
He looks like one of those guys that's probably there before they even open the gates. That's a colony, isn't it?
He's one of those players that, most teams have him. You don't hear a bad thing about him. You don't hear a good thing about him. He does a job effectively, So
it was like the Man United game when he came on within 20 minutes, and all he was done was just press. When he was on the back foot, and literally he just shut down shot.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I do feel sorry for Elneny as well sometimes, because he comes on last 10 minutes and has a bit of a stinker, and then everybody's on his back like it's all his fault for the full 90 minutes. You know what I mean? I do feel a bit bad for the lad, but you know what? I do have a lot of respect for him. And I'm glad that he's here, that, because sometimes you see his attitude, and some pictures of him in training is always smiling. Always, regardless if he plays, he doesn't play, or he plays 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he's always smiling, and you need that at a club. Do you know what I mean? Someone who's a bit more humble and not worried about the paycheck all the time, or he's not worried about, being in the news all the time, or why he's not playing. So he's a good lad. I mean, I think he's a nice squad player to have to bring on and to just reassure things down. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So are we putting out any in for Xhaka?
Yeah.
I think Xhaka does need a break, doesn't he? I mean, he's
been. I think Elneny and Ceballos will start.
Yeah, definitely. Let's just go through some of these comments quickly, see if I've missed anything. We've basically covered this. Solo7 says, do you believe the manager will rest players for tomorrow night's game? Adam Butler, hello. Mad B says, bigger game as West Ham at the weekend. Well, I think we can agree with that.
Yeah, that's why I think he will go with a bit of a weaker lineup, but I think he will go attacking as well.
West Ham they're going to be a tough side to play, especially at their place as well. So
yeah. Especially this season, anyway.
That's for a different show. Alan Butler, I believe, is a Man United fan, says Arsenal will win. Mad B, 1 goal and the game is over if Arsenal score. Couldn't agree more. Pyro's Destiny, great contact, lads. Thank you very much. And Rob says, we got a strong squad now. What do we say to that?
You know what? Going to that comment, for the first time at that Spurs game, it looked like we had a pretty strong bench. That for one of the first times I've seen that game. Do you know what I mean? To bring on, to have like Pepe and then Aubameyang and all these guys on the bench, it made you think that we actually got a pretty decent squad. It's just we just don't have the consistency, and where that comes from is just a bit it's a bit lacking, isn't it? I mean, if you look at I was just watching Sky Sports News a couple of moments ago, and they were saying if the season has started in end of December, January time, we'd be sitting fourth right now. Do you know what I mean? With the things that we've had. Yeah, but that's the thing. This is what I talk about consistency. Look at the squad that we've got, the players, the talent that we have. The consistency in our squad is just so bad. I mean, even Henry said the other night on Monday Night Football, he said it's not like they can complain about how good the squad is. It's just a consistency. It's just not there. I mean, we can beat Spurs.
What we've got which is really, really encouraging for an Arsenal fan. You're right, we have got a strong squad, we have got a good squad, but we've got a young squad. And I honestly believe under Arteta, we're going places. I honestly think that we're one or two world-class players away from challenging for the title, but that's for a different show. But like we said, if we can keep the young, good players that we've got, that's our problem at Arsenal. Keeping players. When other clubs come sniffing around them, then I honestly believe in the next 4 or 5 years, we will seriously be contending for the Premiership with the young, talented players that we've got at the club now.
Let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys put Balogun in this game?
I was just going to say that.
Would you put Balogun in the game?
Anyone want to take that up first?
I'd put him on the bench, and I'd probably give him 20 minutes if the game's going well. The whole £40,000 a week contract that he's asking for, obviously, he hasn't proved half enough, to warrant that kind of amount of money. He's not putting like a Saka or a Smith Rowe performance day in, day out. I'd give him a couple of runs out just to see on his performance wise and see if he's still hungry for it, and then possibly. But yeah, I'll give him a shout out.
Like, why does he think he justifies that money?
Agent money, isn't it?
Like,
agents.
I'm not being funny. Obviously, he's got talent, and I've seen bits. I haven't seen much of him, so I can't really. I've seen bits, and I thought, yeah, there's something about this boy. But to come out and demand first team money, basically, because you got players like what? Holding can't be on much more than that, can he?
Saka and Emirates Smith on less as well.
I think Saka and Martinelli, I think them guys are on 25 grand a week.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, when I saw it last, you said he wants 40 grand. He wants 40 grand. Do you know what I mean?
See you, mate.
For me, that's just enough to tell me what kind of player he's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't want players like that at the club. It's that simple. Maybe give him a go. I can actually see him going anyway. So,
but do you think players like that, young as that, can hold a club like Arsenal to ransom for £40,000 a week? No. That is a ridiculous amount of money. I would put him on maybe 10, maybe 12, just to start him out with. You know what I mean? But I think what he said, because when I read about him, because like I said, I haven't really seen much of him. I've just seen, like clips on Arsenal media about all the goals he's been scoring, for the under-21s and stuff. You can see he's got talent. But a lot of people are saying he's asking for 40,000, but he wants to also be a first team player as well. So he wants to replace either Lacazette or Aubameyang. If someone leaves, he wants to be assured that he would be that person. Do you know what I mean? And
there's also when Martinelli came in, obviously they gave him an under 23 contract. They gave him little money. Said prove yourself, and within a couple of months, he was in the first team, and then within probably 6 months, he got offered a bigger contract, 5-year deal. Prove yourself first before you start doing, asking for 40 grand a week. It's just ridiculous.
I just want to say one thing though. This is a lot of hearsay and paper talk. It's very easy for us to demonise someone and say, "Oh, I can't believe." For all we know, he hasn't said that. Do you know? And for all we know, it might be just his agent saying this. It might be just, I don't know, one of the, we had that problem with Anelka when his brothers did all his talking. Do you know what I mean? We don't know if it actually came from the player. So before I'm going to start demonising him and slagging him off, I'd like to just hold back and get like the full. It's just easy to do, isn't it? It's easy to say, oh, and then later on down the line, you find out the truth, and then you feel like, oh, well.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. I think it's more. I believe it's more agent talk, because nowadays it's all agents, isn't it? What Arsenal are worried about in terms of letting him go is the fact that you don't want to have another Gnabry situation. You know what I mean? And then you let him go on the basis of, okay, he wants this, or he might not be that great. But then he turns up just say he ends up at Leipzig, and then he turns up as the next best thing. Do you know what I mean? Next best thing. And then we'll all be sitting there wondering what we could have had. Because, already looking for a replacement for Lacazette. I mean, and then if we have Balogun scoring 30-odd goals for Leipzig, I mean, we're talking about a different league here. But then that's exactly what happened to Gnabry, isn't it? I mean, even if when he comes back from on a Champions League night, you can see what kind of quality player Gnabry was and what he's become. You don't play for Bayern Munich, a Champions League winning side, and then not and be a starter and not be good enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I think that's what Arsenal are afraid of. That's what they don't want to happen again. And I think that's with the change of mindset of what Arteta has now compared to what we had was when Wenger was there. Not slagging Wenger, because I love the guy to bits, but at that time it's put it like that. Say we didn't have much of a backbone. The players had it all their way. Now the players don't have it their way. It's all Arteta. There's a structure.
Yeah.
So I think this is what we have to wait and see. I mean, we can talk about this all day. I mean, it's all media, paper talk and stuff. But currently, at the moment, I think we just have to see what pans out. I mean, at the end of the day, we got bigger things to focus on at the moment. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think agents obviously play a major part in some of these, these players and whether they stay or not. And you can understand why clubs don't want to get involved with players that've got agents like that. So if he does end up going, Arsenal don't want him there, then you can understand it. So it's a funny one. But before we move on, just a reminder. Once we hit 500 subscribers, we will be giving away a football shirt of your choosing. I believe name and number on the back as well. So please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. Before we do go, I want to talk about what's been coming up in the news today in terms of Odegaard wanting to stay or telling his agent that he wants to stay. As he kick us off with that one.
Mate, I'll take him. I mean, how much would you pay for him? That's the thing. I mean, every performance he gives you a better performer, they start going to be adding extra million on top. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I would take him. I mean, I think he's a bit more of a goal-scoring threat than Ozil was. I think he's 22. He's just been captain of Norway as well. Just been made captain of Norway at 22. So I would take him. I think he suits number 10. And I think he's settled down very well. How much would you pay for him, though? 30, 35 million pounds, 40 million. But would Madrid, they are in debt though, let's not forget. So, but would you take Ceballos and Odegaard? Or would you just take Odegaard? Do you know what I mean? Because I've heard a lot of stuff that he'd want to stay as well. Because obviously, but then would he want to go? But I mean, again, it's paper talk, isn't it, at the moment? But if it's true, I'll happily take him. The way he's settled in, I'll take him.
Brizzy?
Yeah, I'll take both. I'll take Odegaard and Spars. We need the rotation. They can both link up pretty well. And he seems to be scoring goals. He's creating chances. He's working. He's driving. I'll take him, hands down.
You know what I feel? I think he's class. I watch him and he's just a natural footballer. He does things without even thinking. Like, I watch him off the ball. I watch him when he receives the ball. I honestly think he is mustard. Like, he oozes class. And I think that you take into account his age. If we manage to get this kid, we are laughing. He is going to be top drawer. Absolutely top drawer.
Absolutely.
And would I have Ceballos as well? Do you know what? I would. I like him. He's a decent player. I think he plays out of position far too much for my liking. I prefer him in a more attacking role. And when he seems to come on, he slips into that holding role, which I'm not too confident with him playing. But he's definitely a baller. He sees a pass. I'd like to have him, but would we fork up the money for both of them? Will Arsenal ever pay the money? I don't think we will. Maybe we can give him what's his name over in is it in France? Guendouzi. Yeah, we'll do a swap deal. They can have the attitude, and we'll have the class.
He was in the news. He was in the news today as well. He did an interview with a German journalist, saying that he wants to come back to Arsenal. He wants to fight for his place again.
But you know what, mate? He is class. I'm not gonna. He is class as well. I see enough of him to know he's going to be a decent footballer. But he's got a bad attitude. We all know he's got a bad attitude, and what we've seen Arteta won't stand for it, which I applaud. What he did at the weekend to Aubameyang, I applaud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. That's
absolutely.
what I said. The match preview. Oh, sorry, the post match. I mean, that's exactly what I said. I said exactly the same thing. When we had players, the likes of Ozils and Sanchez, they were holding the club to ransom, things like that. I don't think Arteta takes that. As a player, he's seen it at this club. He's seen the stuff that's been going on around because Ozil was there when Arteta was playing for the club. You know what I mean? So we knew all the news that was surrounding these guys when Arteta was there. So I know what he's like. And I think this is what I find so refreshing is because of the fact that we've got a manager who don't take crap no more. He says, look, I don't care if you're a club captain. I don't care if you've scored 30 goals in the last 3 seasons or 2 seasons. If you don't set up the way we have, the discipline that we have in this club, then you're not playing. Simple as that. I'll bring a guy from a youth squad to play up front, and now you definitely won't be playing. And then you need stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I think Pep has built the Man City squad. When he was at Barcelona, when he was at Bayern Munich, they had the structure and everybody followed it. That's why they were a lot successful. And I think for us to be that way, we have to be that club, to have a backbone, to people to say, do you know what? If he can drop a captain, he could drop me. So I need to be on point every time. And if he don't like you, he will shift you out.
Yeah, mate.
Simple as that. But would you give Guendouzi one more season at Arsenal? Would you play him? Not as a first team, but would you bring him on to see how he develops? Because I believe he's only got a year or 2 years left on his Arsenal contract now as well. Or would you just sell him?
Well, if he grows up and drops the ego, he's got what it takes to be a world-class footballer. But it's gone. You can see it's gone to his head. He thinks he's something that he's not, and that might be just because he's young. I mean, if we had all the money they had and we were in the limelight and we could buy whatever we wanted, it would go to our heads as well. But if he can ground himself, I honestly, and I think Arteta is the perfect manager to do that. But then again, he kicked him straight out the door when he got the ump of him. So maybe he's not. I don't know.
I don't really know, to be honest. But I stand with Guendouzi. I'm still trying to figure it all out myself because I think we've got plenty of midfielders there, especially if we do keep the likes of Odegaard and maybe Spouse. I agree. I don't think we'll get both of them. Obviously, I'll take Odegaard more because he just offers a lot more. Cole Bartlett's also asked here, if we keep Odegaard, what happens to Emil Smith-Rowe? It just offers more depth, I suppose, in that position.
Yeah,
I mean, look, sorry, mate, carry on.
Go on.
I mean, I was going to say, look, ESR has shown what he can do as well. He can play on the left, he can play in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So we've got a versatility there. Do you know what I mean? And it'll be good. I mean, both young, both hungry. This is what we need. We need that competition in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Like, who can be there? At the moment, but both are showing that they can do the job. Odegaard, I think, adds goals. He would add more goals to the team. Yeah. But I think that's why I probably would have it. But then, like I said, we haven't been in a situation where we've had a very strong bench. And I think to have these guys in and around or just there, I think it shows. And I think Smith-Rowe is one of those guys. He's not going to throw his, toys out the pram. He knows the club he's playing for. He's playing for the club he's supported all his, for his young age.
Boy, yeah.
Exactly. So, he's not going to be one of those guys that's going just because, he don't get that starting spot no more. He's not going to start, chucking stuff out the pram. But I think to have both of them, the competition and the rotational side of it, I think that's what we've been lacking as well. You know what I mean? The quality and the depth of this squad.
And I think there's enough games in a season now with all Europe and the cups and everything to accommodate both players. And I also think to actually be a top class team to challenge for trophies, you need 2 good players in every position.
Agree.
Look at Man City's team.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest. Man City are in a different planet to everyone.
Yeah, but they've got 2 good players for each position throughout the whole team. So it just shows you if you've got that, if you can get it a lot from youth players, then obviously you're going to save yourself a lot of money.
Yeah, they still ain't got no fans though.
They are. They're all under 10. That's the thing. A couple more comments and then we'll close up. Rob says, no players bigger than the club. That's why I love the boss, his rules. Couldn't agree more. And then I think this is referring to Guendouzi. Don't forget, Vieira was a nutter at 18. So, yeah. I think we're going to wrap it up now, gents. Thanks for joining me
No worries.
today. Should be straightforward tomorrow, but we are Arsenal after all.
What's the score prediction we're going for, everyone?
Let's do them quickly and then we'll
Let's
close
do
up.
score predictions. And
Guy, we'll start with Vegan.
2-0 Arsenal.
2-1.
As in,
I'll probably say I think we'll win. We'll win 3-1 again. We'll win.
yeah, I'm thinking 3-0. I think we'll shut them out tomorrow. Anyway, so yeah, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We aren't the only team playing in the Europa, so there is going to be a couple more shows this evening featuring Manchester United. And at 8 o'clock, I hate to be sharing this, but Raw Fox will be joining the boys, the Tottenham boys, this evening. So if you are a Tottenham fan, or even if you're not, do stick around for that at 8 o'clock tonight. That's going to be all for now. Once again, thank you, boys. Where have I gone? I've disappeared. Hold on. There I am. Yes, face game, boys. And we'll catch you very soon. Come on, you Arsenal.
Come on, you Gooners!
We are Arsenal.
Wembley Bona.
We love Arsenal.
Oh yes,
We are Arsenal.
no mercy.